Hello everyone, you may hear from some absolute cucks on Reddit that Vulkan, and by the association his sons, the salamanders, are not in fact 40k's good guys, and that Vulkan's decision to neutralize the dangerous Eldar quote-unquote child proves it. But they obviously aren't a trustworthy source of information, as you can clearly see from this picture where they are depicted as soyjacks and I'm depicted as a Chad. So let me tell you the truth of what really happened that day and why Vulkan in fact did nothing wrong. Let's start off with the circumstances that led up to the neutralization of this violent creature. You see, after the Dark Night, which I want to remind you was caused by the Eldar, there existed a prosperous planet called Keratin. Doesn't matter. People there lived luxurious lives of comfort and safety, but little did they know that they were being watched from orbit by who else other than the degenerate stalkers calling themselves the Eldar. These Eldar wanted the whole planet all to themselves, but they knew that due to them being, well, Eldar, they could never defeat such a superior race like humanity in a fair open engagement. They knew that GW writers would never allow it, so they concocted a plan. They led a huge orc war towards the planet, expecting humans to be totally destroyed by it. But naturally they weren't. Humans said light work, no reaction, and defeated the entire invasion consisting of trillions, no, or killions of orcs in less than 20 minutes. So the Eldar tried again and again and again, and although each human took well over 500 gorillion orcs, unfortunately they were slowly succumbing to attrition. And on the last orc invasion wave, just as all hope seemed lost, the elves showed up and took out the remaining 300 orcs for the small price of 500 billion Eldari and 300 million Wraithguard lives. Now you may be wondering, where am I getting this information and figures from? Is it from some book or maybe even a codex? No, it actually comes from a far more trustworthy source. It was revealed to me in a dream. Anyway, after the Eldari strategy of pushing orcs towards human settlements backfired on them, they decided to lie and say that they were out for humanity's best interest all along. And that's the reason why they were on the planet fighting the last 300 orcs. Humans, of course, being the most compassionate and welcoming race in the whole galaxy, and seeing 99% of the Eldar's craftworld population dead, decided to foolishly accept them into their custody with open arms. Then we skip a couple centuries to the Nightward fleet looking down on the planet, only to see that the Eldari have somehow managed to put up a spell on the human population of the planet, making them, oh dear god, Emperor forgive me for uttering these words, making them kiss and even make love with the elves. And you know what's even worse? As Kurz was looking through the screen at the planet down below, what he saw shocked him even more. There was an Eldar male being patriarchal and talking down to a human woman by saying that she's his property and how he wants to eat her. Unacceptable. So Kurz, of course, being the pinnacle of feminism and equality that he is, decided that the world was in dire need of freedom and liberation. So he naturally decided to freedom bombard the cities and after that put boots on the fucking ground. Now unfortunately, due to Stockholm Syndrome, most of the human inhabitants sided with the Eldari, which is of course of no surprise. You all know how the famous quote goes, I freed 1,000 slaves, I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were enslaved. But the Nightwards were able to recruit some innocent political prisoners to fight with them. And now we come to our boy Vulkan, with him descending onto the surface of the planet to roleplay Abe Lincoln and freedom slaves. So as he was walking around the ruins, he saw an Eldar teenager, not a child mind you, as many fake news might tell you, but a fully grown ass teenager. And one thing you have to know is that the Eldar teenagers are not what we humans would consider to be teenagers, they are thousands of years old. But even so, Vulkan was such a nice guy that even seeing the devastation that the Eldari caused and their inhumane treatment of the humans, he was still willing to accept this creature's surrender. But guess what this Eldar thing does next? It puts its arms up in the air, which was for sure all an elaborate ruse, since she had a fucking knife next to her. Yes, a knife. Do you know how dangerous knives are? You can literally kill someone with them. And you know what else? Eldar are extremely unstable beings, since they possess like 50 different fathers. So just like the child of a corn star, she was a group project. And this through evolution has made all elves have daddy issues and bipolar disorders. Which is all to say, realistically it would be extremely irresponsible of Vulkan to allow this unstable genetic abomination to walk free, and potentially either injure others or even itself. It would be a far better option to just humanely and quickly euthanize it. Also, can we just talk about how much fanart lies to you? Eldar are not these beautiful creatures with pale skin and ideal body proportions. No, they are literally fish people with Slenderman physiques. Like, how am I supposed to how am I supposed to negotiate with such beings when they literally just look like a mockery of a perfect human form? Also, let's not forget that Vulkan's home planet was frequently a target of many Drukhari invasions, so Vulkan already had that race realist mindset of around elves never relax. And you know what, despite all of this, Vulkan still felt bad about the justified neutralization of this dangerous 1000-year-old mockery of a human form, which just goes to show you how much of a nice guy Vulkan truly is. And it also shows you just how much of a victim he was in this situation. He literally had bad dreams about this for 2 whole days, despite it being totally okay and justified. There is not a single bad bone in that man's whole body. Also, let's just remind ourselves that this galaxy is rightfully the territory of mankind, and all the other races are just squatters that need to be kicked out. The one true god, the god emperor of mankind, said so himself in his New York bestseller Lactitio Divinatus. Plus, if the Eldari creature was truly pure of heart and didn't want to enslave humans, then the emperor would have surely protected her from getting incinerated by Vulkan. The fact that he didn't shows you that Vulkan did in fact do the right thing. And of course, this galaxy was promised to us by the Almighty himself 10,000 or even more years ago. And these Xeno creatures, despite knowing all that, still choose to illegally occupy our planets. And what's worse, they actively choose to cosplay hippies and take care of the trees and shit, when we humans could take much better care of those territories by building Malkador McDonald's or maybe Imperial Walmarts in those locations. Basically, we could up the property value of those locations and make the line go up. In my humble opinion, these Xenos should be relocated to a far more hospitable environment, like the surface of the fucking sun, so they can truly become one with the nature. Anyway, if you are a true ethnic removal pilled enjoyer like me, you should consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. And of course, till the next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.